Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world, and welcome back to another beautiful, sexy, wonderful, stable, mentally stable episode of the podcast, hopefully. My name is Hannah. You guys already know me. Your internet best friend, internet big sister. Overall, just fairy godmother, fairy smoke mother, and I am here to help you guys through your trials, your tribulations, your celebrations, and much, much, much more. I'm ready to dive into some questions, but there's some things we need to talk about, some things we need to catch up on. There's a lot going on in the world right now. We have a new moon, as well as the beginning of a Mercury retrograde starting August 4th. I believe that's Sunday. I'll do a little bit more of a recap and a little bit more research for our next episode, just so I can kind of prep and prepare. But I think it's good, especially at the beginning of this podcast, to go ahead and put out a little PSA for the girlies. It's okay to lose your shit. It's okay to feel like you're going a little bit insane. That is very normal, very human experience that a lot of people are going to be feeling, especially with the various inconveniences that Mercury retrograde can bring. Mercury is all about communication, travel, things like that. So the whole, we had a huge issue with the airports and stuff with a security, not breach, but essentially a security cyberware went down because an update was... I don't know technology. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you heard about it. I'm sure you heard about so many people fucking complaining about being in the airports. That was during Mercury retrograde shadow phase, okay? Which is kind of just like a precursor to Mercury retrograde. So expect situations like that to be happening. And the best thing to really make it through situations like that is to have a little laugh, enjoy your time there, have a drink at the bar, but don't put pressure on yourself to figure something out, especially when maybe it's just not going to work out at this very moment. It will work out eventually, I promise you, but stay strong and stay resilient through it. Don't say everything that comes to your mind. That's unnecessary. A lot of things that are going to be going through your head are not necessarily going to be the most positive, best things ever. So it is more than okay to keep that shit to yourself, please. Okay, a lot of miscommunications might be happening, a lot of things like that, travel delays, very small little inconveniences that can pile up very quickly, especially if you don't address them correctly. So I just like to give a little bit of a heads up. This is not a manifesting time, even though the new moon is on the same day that retrograde begins, which new moons are usually the best for manifesting. This is not a time for manifesting. It is a time for intention setting, though. Okay, this is the time where you're like positive affirmationing it up to the point where it's like, okay, I'm mentally prepared to handle what the fuck gets thrown at me. So positive intentions, positive feelings and thoughts the best we can, but don't manifest during this time, especially if you want it to go according to plan. Mercury likes to play around a little bit, okay? Likes to get a little crazy. This is a time where we're definitely challenged to, how good is your balance when you're on your toes? That's what the universe likes to challenge during Mercury retrogrades. That's why we have so many. Mercury retrograde is quick to get you out of cycles and things that just don't simply fit you, okay? Burning bridges quickly to things that don't fit you. There might be a lot of changes, but I promise it is going in a positive direction. Okay, it's putting you onto your best life path. So stay strong, please. I'll talk more about it on the podcast next week, but I will also be posting a little recap how to prepare on the Patreon if you would like to see that. Also, let's address the elephant in the room. Not my ass being like, yeah, I'll post a body scrub recipe by Friday. Silence. Listen, I got really busy this week. I don't know why. I kind of got busy out of nowhere. I planned my whole week out and then, shit just happens to pile up. It is what it is. I did post the written out recipe on the Patreon, but I will be posting it to YouTube in 2 or 3 weeks. I will be out of town. So instead of a podcast, which I'll post about so you guys know which week I'm kind of maybe quote unquote missing, I'll be posting a vlog instead. So not necessarily missing, but in that vlog, I will include the actual video recipe. It'll be kind of like a summer bucket list vlog. So I'm very excited to film that and hang out with you guys. This past weekend was really fun. I haven't been out in a while. I'm kind of really out of my party girl phase simply because I feel like I am allergic to alcohol now. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I've been drinking UV Blue since 8th grade. Actually, probably like 6th grade. Maybe it's because I've been smoking weed since like freshman year. Maybe it's because the party girl is partied out. Okay, when you've partied for over, God, like 12 years, if you actually think about it, you get tired of it eventually. You know what I mean? And I think my body has ingested enough alcohol at this point that it's like 2 drinks and I'm done. 2 drinks and I'm ready to go home and lay in bed. You know, like literally grandma mode activated. It was Thrasher weekend this weekend. So my boyfriend was out skating with the pros all weekend. And then at the very end of the weekend, they were doing like a punk show to help raise money and just like a kind of farewell. So we went to that punk show that night. Really fun, really cutesy. I love seeing people throw themselves around in the pit. Babe, you have pent up aggression. You have aggression that you need to get out of your body. Are you angry at your dad and want to go platonically beat someone up? Get in the pits, okay? Go to your local punk show, go to your local house show, and go windmill it up in the pit, because my God, these people were going crazy. They were going crazy, which like love to see, but also keep me away. I do not need a 5th broken nose, you know, like I'll watch from the sidelines. We pulled up to this punk show. We walk up to the bar. There's a man leaning over the bar holding a cup under his face, trigger warning, and just his blood is pouring out of his nose and he's filling the cup up with it. I'm like, wow, welcome. Anyways, great time. Someone had to get carried out because their knee snapped in half. It was wild, but it was a good time. Had a couple of drinks. We ended up at a dive bar afterwards, just chit-chatting, doing the thing. But it's also kind of nice that my boyfriend was not into drinking before he met me. So he had quite a bit of like a ride when he met me because I was in my rave, you know, alcoholic party girl phase where I was on like week-long benders. So he saw me at my worst and still loved me, but also I think sometimes he expects that. And so when it's like 11:30 and I'm looking at him and I'm like, you want to go get a quesadilla and go home? His eyes like light up. He's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh my God, yes. Are you serious? Like, we're not going to be out till 2:30? That's amazing. So I do think, I don't know, just because I'm exhausted of it and I'm tired of like waking up hungover and I like to be able to enjoy my mornings and do my things. If you are in your party girl phase, enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy it. Do your thing. Be crazy, because naturally, eventually, well, unless you have the whole addiction gene, which I do, but I'm addicted to other things now, if I'm being honest. It's been replaced with food and weed. I don't need alcohol anymore. But it's okay to enjoy where you're at because you will get burnt out of it eventually. I actually ran into one of my good friends there, which... She is like 8 months sober. Yes, we love that for her. 8 months sober off alcohol. And the last time she ever drank was with me. And when I tell you I have never been that drunk in my entire life, like we were matching each other's freak. No, we were matching each other's evil girl energy. I'm talking, I got home, and I think I've talked about this in the podcast, but I got home and just like, trigger warning, projectile vommed into my sink and fell asleep. It was like 9 p.m. Hello, we started drinking at like 4 in the afternoon and it just got out of hand, out of control. I don't know how I ended up home. It was just really like an eye-opening experience where I was like so out of control of my body that it was like unnerving. It was a feeling that I didn't really want to experience again. And it wasn't like malintent on either of our parts. We were just both like very partying girls, okay? We were taking shots, we were drinking soju bottles, we were just getting down, okay? And it got just out of hand, and she ended up sober for the best. She's a baddie. Good for her. Very proud of her. Still goes out, still goes to punk shows, enjoys her time, just smokes a little weed. And honestly, same. I'm not sober, but also I don't have that interest that I used to have. And I feel like naturally these feelings will come up the older you get, and the more you realize basing your personality off drinking and partying is such a like surface level personality to have, and there is so much more to life. You'll get there. If you're young, get it out of your system. I highly recommend. I was a crazy wild girl, and I should have been, you know what I mean? I was young, I was hot, I was single, I was feeling myself, I was running around this city having a good time. And that's exactly what people should be doing when they're young. But also, if you ever feel the urge to switch it up, to change, that is a natural urge that you need to follow and feel, okay? That is a natural sign from your internal self that, you know, maybe we've grown out of these patterns and behaviors and now it's time to switch it up. So it was honestly a very good weekend. I know I said last week that, oh my God, I'm gonna be blackout drunk this weekend. I even asked off work the next day because I was like, I have a feeling I'm gonna be so entirely fucked up that I'm not going to be able to wake up to work a brunch service. So I even got that off. But honestly, I was feeling good. I had 3 mixed drinks, and then we got quesadillas, asada quesadillas with a side of grilled onion jalapeno, spiciest sauce you got. Life is good. Honestly, if you're drunk and you need something to sober you up, an asada quesadilla is exactly what you need. Okay, that shit will heal you immediately. And then when you wake up, chug a Body Armor. I was recently introduced to Body Armor. Love Body Armor. Okay, it's basically just coconut water with a little bit of natural juice in there, a little bit of, I think, green tea. I don't know. Lots of electrolytes. And it's like not a lot of sugar, so there's not a lot of calories in there because it's all natural. But holy shit, that if you are hungover and you need something to save you, you need one item to save you, go grab a giant Body Armor. Okay, that shit will solve every problem you have going on inside your body. But overall, great weekend. The next day, me and my boyfriend went to the farmer's market. We went and got some fresh produce. I've been really into finding local farmers and seeing what they have and buying seasonally, specifically, especially when it comes to produce and stuff. I really need to find a good local butcher. That's next on my a list of adult cooking things to do. But when we went, we got some chicken gyros, some salad. If you need a good place to eat in Kansas City, Hibachi House in the River Market is the place to go. That lady has seen me practically grow up. Like, I go there almost every Sunday to go eat. They have the best Mediterranean food. I believe they're Palestinian. Please go support. Please go show up. Also, cheap, great food, handmade with love. 10 out of 10. So we had some cheesecake as well, some fig cheesecake, our gyros, and then I basically just hung out and chilled. Great weekend overall, honestly. I think it was the mental preparation I needed before I kind of really hustle these next couple weeks. I work 4 days in a row this week. Oh boy, that's gonna be very interesting. I know you're like, Hannah, bitch, what? I work 5 days in a row. Yes, correct, but also this is like my 4th job, so it's a lot. It's a lot on my plate, but I know I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to power through. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to rest and recharge with you girlies, see what's on our minds, see what you guys have going on in your lives. And yeah, it's going to be a great week. I am setting my intentions high and positive, and I hope you are doing the same as well. What else did we have to catch up on? Oh, Kamala Harris, new Democrat presidential choice. Very excited. Very excited. Okay. I feel like the energy has shifted in America and shifted in a positive direction. Okay. A lot of people are very excited, and I think they should be, because, oh my God, she's way better than Joe Biden. Joe Biden was going to DIE before he could fucking get elected again, if he even was going to. Scary. Anyways, exciting. Also, If you have not read, and I'm sure you've seen the discourse on it, but if you have not read the Ballerina Farms article by, I believe the New York Times wrote it, please go read it. I think every woman should go read it, especially women who are getting so caught up with the relationship discourse that happens online, and men should be the sole provider and women should be in the home taking care of the kids, and I wish it was the 1950s so I didn't have to work. That kind of like mind rot discourse. Please go read this article. It will put you right the fuck back in your place, okay? We as women have not had a choice for so fucking long. And now we have a choice. We have a choice on who we marry, if we have kids, what kind of job and career we want to do. We can fucking vote, okay? We couldn't do that for a long fucking time. You have a choice in this life. Please, for the love of God, choose what you are passionate and what you want to do, not what a man wants you to do. Trying to appease a man will never work out, ever, in your entire life. It will never work out. I talk about this a lot when it comes to like Republican women. Just because you are in proximity does not guarantee you safety at all. Proximity will not guarantee you safety. Please focus on what the fuck you want to do, what you are passionate about, who you want to become. Women before us have fought so hard to give us these rights, so please take full advantage of those and don't let a fucking dusty man pick you up and turn you into basically a human cow, okay? We don't fucking need that anymore. This trad wife aesthetic, it's great when it comes to the whole let's focus on maybe what we're eating, where we're sourcing it from, and changing how we view food. I think that's amazing and incredible. Like, hello, Nara Smith made homemade Takis. You can too. You can too. She's really just showing that anybody can make whatever they want and it can come from sustainable, natural places instead of being fully processed. And I think that is super great and super healthy. But also there is a dark side to all of this where it's basically the lack of choice and being forced kind of down this pipeline. And that is so incredibly scary. So please go read it. If you need a good little article to read, if you're bored on your lunch break, 10 out of 10 recommend. I think the journalist did a great job on it, really just portraying kind of the negatives to the really polished version her and her husband are putting on. But yeah, free her. My God, let her, please let her be a ballerina again. Please, I'm begging you. Oh my God, the fact that her husband, she wanted tickets to Greece. It's my birthday, bitch. I popped out 8 fucking kids. All I want for my birthday is tickets to Greece. And you get me an egg apron? Bitch, I'm strangling you with that fucking apron in your sleep. I'm taking your credit card and I'm buying a one-way ticket to Greece. Oh, it kills me. Every time I see a woman completely submit themselves to an average fucking man, an angel dies. An angel dies every time. Please stand up for yourself. Please do what you want to do. Do not let a man decide your fate. Proximity does not guarantee safety. Ever. Love you. Anyways, I think that's really all I have to catch up on with you guys. So with that being said, should we smoke a bowl now? Fuck it. Let's smoke a bowl and then let's get into all your questions. Last week, when I was having a bad weekend, one could say, a little bit of a mentee B weekend, I was kind of nervous to get on here and basically complain for like an hour and a half, because I understand a lot of you guys come here to escape from the trials and tribulations of your life, escape from the stressed out version of you and step into like the high goddess fairy you are. And I love that for us, but sometimes you just got to get it off your chest, especially when I'm trying to be real and raw with you guys and take you along the journey that I'm having. And I got so many messages from you guys saying, I had the same kind of week. Thank you for talking about it. Thank you for giving me hope. Thank you for getting it off your chest so then I could get it off my chest too. Thank you for, not putting on a facade and showing the real parts of what it's like to be human. And that inspired me so much. Thank you guys for all your kind words. I love hearing from your guys, and just like connecting with you every week. And this community we've created is so incredible. And so many of you guys join every single week to just kind of check in and hopefully glow up a little bit together. And I think that's so beautiful. But I'm glad that, you know, I wasn't the only one going through it. So always, we will figure it out together. We will get through it together. But yeah, I was a little nervous because I was like, I don't want to just be like a whiny bitch. But also, that's like a condition I've been taught as a girl, is I can't complain. When in reality, complaining is healthy and normal. And men do it all the time. So why the fuck can't I? Anyways, cheers to that. Let's smoke. Also, do you guys like my Sailor Moon shirt? If you're an audio listener, I'm wearing this really cute oversized Sailor Moon t-shirt. You'll see it eventually. I'll post it on Instagram. This is probably one of my best thrift finds. Tell me why I got it on eBay for $35. $35 vintage Sailor Moon shirt. Okay. Fuck a Depop purchase. I purchase all my clothes on eBay. If I'm being real, I think I can find the best deals always on eBay. You do kind of have to know what to look for. I just look at things on Pinterest and I see how they're described in the comments or in the caption, and then I just type that in on eBay, and boom, I guarantee you'll find one. But yeah, let's get into your questions. Let's see what's on your mind. Oh, also, I just posted some really cute romantic Brat Summer-esque, my version of Brat Summer photos on my Instagram. So go check it out. Go leave a little hi from the podcast comment. They're pretty cute. I just like hanging out. Like, my favorite activity to do with myself is just hang out and like take selfies, take photos. I'm not gonna be this young and hot forever. I mean, honestly, I'll be hot forever, but at least this young. I won't live in this moment ever again, so I might as well get a good picture out of it. Hello. Someone said, I just finished Sex and the City. Why is Carrie such a pick-me? OMG. Deep sigh. I love Carrie with all my heart because I can kind of see a point of myself in her, and I think that's kind of the whole point of her character, is to really elaborate and show just how much like trying to appease and chase after a man will cause you to be fucking delusional. So every time that you look down on Carrie, okay, view yourself in the same point of way. Okay, it's a good like reflection, like mirror reflection. Like, would you do the crazy shit she's doing? No. So please, for the love of God, focus on you and don't chase that man around, especially if he doesn't like you. If you have a Mr. Big in your life and that man is practically sprinting away from you in his Louis Vuitton loafers, let him run. Let him scuff up those fucking boots, okay? Stay where you are. Stay calm. Another man will pick you up off your feet. But yeah, I think I know a lot of Carries. I know a lot of Carries in real life. And every single day I pray for them. Please, God, release them from the shackles of what it is to be obsessed with a man who absolutely wants nothing to do with you. Anyways, if you need a good TV show to binge, Sex and the City is the best. It's so good. I didn't realize like how good it was. Me and my boyfriend watched it for the first time like 2 years ago. It was like kind of like an early spring morning, and we had just went to the farmer's market and then had like 9 rounds of back-to-back sex, and we were just laying in bed, and I was like, fuck it, I'm putting on Sex in the City. When I tell you we laid in bed for 15 hours watching that show, okay, it's so good. And then I brought it up to my mom, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, Sex and the City, great. Because I was wearing like a shirt that was inspired by Carrie Bradshaw, and she noticed it. And my mom was like, I watched that show constantly when I was pregnant with you. And I was like, that makes so much fucking sense. Because I didn't know where I was getting all of this style, inspiration, aesthetically pleasing inspiration from. Because no one in my life is kind of like fashionista, in with the times girlies. I realized it's because I was basically raised on Carrie Bradshaw. Basically in the womb, headphones on, only Carrie Bradshaw's voice. So, someone said, girl, what's your boba order? My boba order is so fucking boring. I feel like people usually go for like a taro milk tea. Maybe like a Thai tea situation with a brown sugar boba. But my go-to, which I go to Gotcha Boba. I don't know if you guys have that. But they will do a green tea with fresh squeezed orange and fresh squeezed crushed sugar cane. And I do it with a little bit of like an aloe jelly in the bottom. That is the best. I'm just a green tea slut though. Best way to handle a tower moment in your life. I'm living through all of my worst fears right now. Love you, Hannah. So I feel like, especially with tarot reading, I've been doing a lot of tarot with myself personally, especially when it comes to just questions I have. I love diving into the cards and just seeing what the universe has to pop out, because when you connect with the universe and you do open up that line of communication, it's ooky spooky. I'm like, holy shit, why did you call me out like that? That was unnecessary. Like, let me sit in silence for 30 minutes. Thank you. And sometimes it's exactly what you need to hear. Actually, all the time it's exactly what you need to hear. But the Tower is a card that comes out when essentially someone's life is going through a very challenging, tough time. Okay, the card is a very high, dark tower. I view this card a little differently than most people would though. I feel like when people are going through a tower moment, it's because that tower is old and raggedy and leaning to the side. And sometimes shit has to fully fucking collapse randomly in order for you to be able to rebuild it better. Okay, sometimes the universe steps in and your life takes a turn and it is not what you think it's gonna take, and it is the hardest challenge that you have ever had to go through before. Okay, your world comes falling down around you, but that's because that shit wasn't stable. Okay, that shit was not good for you. There was mold in the walls, there were rats everywhere, and you were blind to it because you were comfortable in your tower, in your safe space. Sometimes shit has to come falling down around you in order for you to have a new perspective, create new dreams, and hopefully, if you approach the situation right, build your life better than it ever has before. More secure, okay, clean walls, fresh linens, lace curtains, whatever you want, okay? Your tower can be whatever you want it to be, but yeah, sometimes that shit is ooky spooky and you got to go through it a little bit in order for you to make it through it and make it through it better than what you entered it. So hang on there. I promise things will get better. Things will get easier. Every single challenge I've been through, every time I enter one, I'm like, oh, no, not another one. But then I think about it and I'm like, the people who don't accept challenges for what they are and try to do better in the person that they're becoming, and they just succumb to their challenges and become a victim, that's scary. That's scary. No growth will occur. In fact, you will stay in the same place forever if you don't take that challenge head on and do simply the best you can to make it through. Please accept the challenge. Don't deter away from it. Allow yourself to grow. Out of rain and thunderstorms always comes flowers. Okay, I love you. I love you. Please build your tower strong. Do you believe in second chances? Ooh, you know what? I think I do. I kind of think I do. As much as I'm like a scorched earth, like burned bridges kind of person where it's like, nope, done forever. And I will do that in many cases, especially when it's like a protection tool where I'm like, no, you can't do me that way and expect a second chance. But if it's just like, you know, a mess up, a slip up, everybody's going to have a very human moment in their life. And I think everybody is deserving of a second chance if you're having a human moment. Now, if you're having a devil moment, I can't necessarily offer you a second chance. If you were having devil reincarnated moment where you were just evil to me, I'm not going to offer you a second chance, okay? Scorched earth, move on. But if you have a human moment and you fuck up, and you know what, I get it, emotions get the best of us. It's easy to get someone in your ear and have them, you know, change how you think and how you behave. It's easy to get caught up in your own life or someone else's life or the drama of it all. That's okay. I get it. Take some time apart. But yes, I do think second chances are a thing and should be a thing. And that's why I don't necessarily believe like don't get back with your ex, because if it was like a silly little human thing, you guys just need to go separate ways for a little bit, then sure, maybe a second chance is possible. But like if it was a scorched earth evil devil kind of situation, then yeah, I don't think you should take that person back. I think it's okay to have some distance and to also not need to appease somebody who truly does you wrong. I think forgiveness is important, just for your ability to move forward and handle the situation the best that you can. But that doesn't mean access, and like bringing them back into your life is necessary. Tips for quitting a job you've outgrown. I'm kind of in this position. I'm like service industry. I can't do it anymore. I feel like I'm a psych ward patient. I can make this joke because I've been one. I feel like I'm a psych ward patient, like in my thunder coat, just like rocking back and forth. That's how I feel every time I clock into my fucking restaurant job. Even though I'm not there that often, I'm like, oh God, please, I've outgrown this. And it's so hard when you know mentally that you have outgrown a situation, but you're still physically in the situation that you don't want to be in. That is harder than anything. I would rather have my universe, please be nice to me. I'm not manifesting this. I have to preface that before I say things out loud sometimes, because I'm like, oh God, please, no. Listen, sometimes when you have that tower moment and your life comes crashing down around you and you're forced into a new situation, sometimes that is easier than being in a situation that you know mentally you've outgrown and you feel like you're regressing a little bit being in there, but you're kind of stuck until you are able to take that next step, which the next step when it comes to jobs, especially that you've outgrown, is just getting a new job, finding a new way to make money, changing up your environment, things like that. So here's some practical tips that I think everybody can use, especially if they feel like they've outgrown a job and they need to enter a new field. Let's get that resume checked. Let's check that resume. Let's make it very one page. No 2 pages. You need 1 page and they're not looking at the second page. Put as much information as you can in there. Make it concise. Okay. Bullet points if you need. Don't put any extra fluff in there if you think it's not worth it. Put what is necessary in there. Contact information, good cover letter, things like that. If you are in an area, especially like as an artist, you need a portfolio to pitch to people. So make sure your portfolio is up to date. Maybe you spend your time after work working on projects that can go towards your portfolio. Or like if you need to fluff your resume, volunteering or getting just hours in different fields that will help you kind of progress to where you want to go. You don't necessarily have to have a job in something to get a job in something. You just have to show like desire for experience. Okay, so volunteer opportunities, internship opportunities, or even just like your own projects that you just necessarily didn't go to school for, but you have completed and created and you have a thesis behind. You know, a little bit of fluff in there, proving that you're interested in it, not only to the world around you, but also to yourself. Okay, knowledge is power, especially if you are entering a new field. You can create a change in your life. You can work whatever job you fucking want to. It does take work though. It does take work and drive, but don't let yourself stay in a place that you don't want to be. You know what I mean? That's how I am. I'm like, I know I can't stay here forever because I'm gonna die. It's gonna kill me. But like, am I going to sit here and just die, like roll over and basically bury myself in my own grave? No, I recognize the signs. I understand, okay, I've outgrown this. And I start looking forward to what do I want to do? How do I want to change? What practical things can I do in my everyday life that will help me progress down this natural path that I'm about to take? So it's okay to feel like you've outgrown something. It feels hard, especially because you feel like you're regressing, being in a place that feels mundane and old to you. But also you're going to look back one day at this moment in life and wish that you had been more fonder and kind to it. So appreciate the now for what it is, because it won't always be this way forever. Give gratitude for what you do have and dream, dare to dream a little bit and look forward, because you can create the reality that you want to live. I'm hot, but I have no one to fuck, ... Huh? It's because you're hot and you're a little intimidating because of that. So that weeds out, the insecure people who think they don't deserve you. But also you probably have standards. You're not necessarily letting every loser into your life. Obviously the dating pool is going to be lowered quite a bit, especially if you're weeding out the people who are just not worth it to you. That's okay. It's okay if your dating pool is a little small. That doesn't mean no one wants you. It just means maybe you're too good for a majority of the people. Do not settle. Do not settle just because a man walks his way into your life, okay? There is no need. You are a strong, independent woman. You can find somebody. You can find somebody. If you really, really want, you can hunt them down and find them. But is that the best way to really find love? No, probably not. Okay. If it fits into your situation and where you are in your dream life, that means it's healthy. That means it's a good kind of love. It needs a puzzle piece into what you want your life to be and what you desire and what you want your dream man to be like. Okay. It's okay to have those goals and aspirations, especially when it comes for love. But yeah, a lot of people are not going to fit into what you are looking for. That's a part of looking for something. That's okay. But also don't rush it. It will happen eventually. You can go out, have your one night stands, do whatever, hang out with men that way if that's what you want to do. But also, like, if that's not what you want to do, focus on you. The right person will come along. I know that's so annoying to say. I know that's so fucking annoying to say. But I've been in multiple relationships. And this one being the healthiest one I've been in, obviously that's why I'm still in it. And this one came along by me so utterly focusing on myself and who I wanted to be and what I desired from a partner and really not taking shit that I didn't want to take on. I feel like holding yourself to those standards and waiting a little bit longer in order to find that kind of love is so much more worth it than just being like closing my eyes and picking the first person off Hinge, you know? So be patient, please. I'm begging you. It will make your situation better. But also, like, put yourself out there, chit chat, have a little flirt. But also, if that man's stupid and you don't want him around you, there's no need to appease him or fit him into your life in any way, shape, or form. Love you. How to emotionally support your partner when you're struggling to keep it together? You don't. You don't. People talk about relationships being 50-50, 50-50. It's gonna ebb and flow, okay? Or like 100 and 0. Sometimes it's gonna be like a 20 and 80. Sometimes it is 50 and 50. The thing about it is you have to let it ebb and flow. People are gonna naturally, especially through emotions, flow through. Babe, I flow through healed and insane every second of every day. So I have to feel those emotions fully and process them on my own. I can't take on any extra, especially when I'm in a low position in life. It's okay to verbalize to your partner and say, hey, I am having a really rough time right now, and I just can't take on any more emotional frequency because there's too much sound in my own goddamn head. So I love you. And either A, maybe I need some alone time. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to go on a walk. Can you give me the apartment to myself for the evening? You know, things like that. Or it's like, you know what? I'm just going to turn my phone off and go to bed early tonight. I love you though. It's okay to communicate to your partner. I just can't take on this right now. I had to learn this very quickly. Attempting to communicate healthily in a relationship, especially with BPD, you're hard. That the more honest you are about your emotions, the more your partner is going to be able to help you, not help you through them, but maybe provide the space that you need. So when I am in a high emotional state where I know I can't fucking take on any more noise in my own head, I will verbalize that. I will be like, I am having a low moment and I love you, but I think I just need to step away for a second. It has nothing to do with you. I always preface that because he's also has anxiety. Has nothing to do with you, everything to do with me. I love you. I'll see you in 8 hours. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever kind of space you need. But communication, always, it's the best. Self-love activities, love summer, but it is so boring sometimes. What do you mean so boring? Go to the farmer's market, go eat a fresh fruit from a local farmer. Go put on a white linen skirt and walk around your local community garden. Go sit on a bench and read a book in a public park. Go on a dinner date with your friends. Cook dinner for your friends. Bring them over and cook spaghetti. Dollar sauce, dollar pasta. Who cares? $1 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's. You know, like, you can do it for cheap. You can have a good time for cheap. Light a $1 candle next to it. Go try a new restaurant you've always been wanting to try. Be outside. The romance is out there. I promise. You just need to be out there to experience it. Oh, my dad is so sweet. He found like 2 wicker chairs on the side of the road, like really nice outdoor chairs, and he repainted them for me for my patio, so then I have like a place to sit and chill and enjoy and kind of like read my book and be outside. Oh, Oh, best out of the year every year, honestly. Shout out to him. Someone said, does summer make you revisit all of your life choices? Love you. Yes. Summer has a way of being like very nostalgic and kind of sending you back to spaces and moments that you may have forgotten or have always been in the back of your head. And I think that can be so productive. But also, if you linger in the past for too long, it becomes unhealthy. So look at the good of it all, the love of it all. Appreciate and understand that you went through what you went through in order to make it to where you are today. So give thanks, give appreciation for every kind of moment, good or bad. And look forward, okay? I really like to look at the past and really focus on the nostalgia aspects of it all. You know, the golden summers, the playing in the pool with my friends, the sleepovers, the family trips, the family dinners, like little things like that I like to look forward to and even look back on. But once again, if you live in the past, especially in negative things, too much, it can keep you stagnant in the present. So living in other places of time, highly do not recommend. But the nostalgia aspect of it all, I live my life fully for the nostalgia. I am constantly chasing nostalgia and trying to create it in my own life and really make every moment as beautiful as I can. So when I'm 80 and I'm looking back and I don't have the same kind of legs I used to, or the same kind of hair, or fully changed, same kind of mind even, I'm able to look back and give appreciation for so many moments. Because I talk to, you know, my elders and the people around me, especially like my grandma, and a lot of our conversations are things that I wish. And that kind of breaks my heart because, you know what, back in that time, talk about Ballerina Farms, she didn't really have a choice. There were not as many opportunities for her as there are for me now. And so talking to her, and although she is appreciative for the life she has, and I'm sure she's happy where she is, there are so many times where she's like, oh, I wish I went to art school. I wish I did this. I wish I did this. That it breaks my heart, but also puts into perspective, like every moment counts in this life, and life can feel like such a long process that we have to get through. And it is, but also like, don't take your days for granted and give thanks for every moment that you get on this planet, because you can find light and love in every inch that you look if you look for it. I promise. So yeah, I love nostalgia. I feel like most of the like past memories that I revisit during summer, it's all about love. You know what I mean? I'm a very love-oriented person, if you can't fucking tell. It's because if I focus on anything else that is even remotely negative, I will go insane. I have no choice. I always seek love because the darkness has a habit of just grabbing the fuck onto me. I do visit a lot of that nostalgia, especially like childhood nostalgia. A lot of my tattoos are even nostalgia based. So it dictates a lot of my life, but I do think, especially when you're revisiting a lot of past thoughts and feelings, focusing on the nostalgia and the love of it all helps you appreciate and move forward faster than anything else. I know he wasn't good for me, but what if I cut off the love of my life? Like, what if he was the one? If that man was the one for you, do you think he would do all those horrible, awful things? Every time you get done wrong by a man, ask yourself, would the love of my life do this to me? Would the love of my life refuse not to date me? Would the love of my life, yell at me like that? Would the love of my life treat me like that? Would the love of my life not hear me out? Would the love of my life do that negative, toxic thing? The answer is probably no. The answer is most likely no, especially if it's a reoccurring habit and theme. So if I had to guess, he probably was not the love of your life. Okay, the love of your life will stick around, will help you, will want to see you do better, will appreciate you for every moment, will be patient with you and understanding, and most importantly, kind. What happened to kindness? Someone said, please help. How do I have sex without my nipple piercings literally ripping out? I don't know why they would be, babe. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I got scared. Like, my nipples started hurting. I forget I have my nipples pierced all the time, honestly. Like, at this point, I've had them since freshman year of college. So, like, 18? And I'm 25 now. I can't do the math. You do that for me. Anyways, I've had them for quite some time. And yeah, I forget they're there most of the time. And the way that they take years to heal, like at least 2 to 3 years to fully heal. So be as cautious as you can in those 2 to 3 years to make the healing process go by faster. Make sure they're moisturized. Make sure you're cleaning them. Okay. Make sure you have a good metal in there. I don't know why my body thinks it's bougie and I can only have solid gold in any of my orifices, or else I have a allergic reaction, but I do. So I would just say, listen, hands off, okay? Don't roll around, no rubbing around. Just be like forward with your partners and say, hey, these bad boys, they're going to need some time. I'm going to need a moment before you can twist and pull on these bad boys, because I don't want them ripping out my nipples. They're going to be pretty sensitive for a while. You do need some time to let them heal. Communicate with your partners, but also like... I was like crashing out when I got my nipple piercings, and like that night I had a man sucking on them. And yeah, that's why my healing process took 3 years. So please be careful. OMG, I'm so stressed all the time lately. How do I catch a vibe? I feel like you just need to, you got to set like the tone of your environment, okay? And I feel like the tone of your environment really shapes the conversation going on in your head a lot of the times. That's why when you're at like a concert, it's impossible to not have a good time. Like even if there's negative things going on outside of that venue, there's so much good energy, positive energy around you, good music around you, good people around you, that feeling and that bad thing can't take over your brain in that moment. That's why I used to party all the time. Anyways, not the moral of the story. If you need to catch a vibe and you have a hard time because your brain is constantly running, let's focus on slowing that brain down and like working through those emotions at home. Like let's figure out how to catch a vibe at home. And I think that will help your day-to-day life, maybe outside, a little bit easier and a little bit less overwhelming. My favorite, like I need to chill the fuck out and catch a vibe routine is I need to be alone. I need to be alone in my room. I need to be alone in a bathroom or something. I need to be alone somewhere. I'm going to load me a little bowl. I'm not going to lie. We got to chill out. I'm going to load me a little bowl. That's just me personally. Maybe you like to make yourself a glass of hot tea, a good meal. I don't know. But let's get a little like brain stimulation in there one way or another. A little good endorphins, okay? Maybe you're going to do a 10-minute Pilates workout. I don't know. Let's up those endorphins just real quick with something. And then you're going to put on some good music, your favorite playlist. If you like to get creative, you're going to get creative. You're going to get, your watercolors out, your pencils out, your drawing pad out. You're going to maybe do a face mask and just lounge in a bath with your favorite music playing, with an Amy Winehouse album in the background, with the Sade album in the background. Okay, maybe it's doing anything with your hands, or just like relaxing self-care. That's what's going to work the best, with music playing, catching a vibe, chilling out, working through the things that are constantly stuck in your head. I love a good like deep self-care shower, because bitch, I will get through every anxiety that I have in that hour-long shower that I'm gonna take. I love doing a Pilates routine because it'll kind of give me that endorphin rush, but also it'll allow me to kind of work through negative things that I have in my head while also getting a positive stimulant out of it. Maybe it's cleaning my room, doing something with my hands, creative, anything. As long as your hands are moving and you're putting yourself into a place that you find comforting, especially like a place that maybe your inner child feels the most comforted by. I don't know where that is. Do some internal research on that, and just setting the environment to be a positive, comfy environment, an escape environment. You'll catch a vibe. Okay. You know that routine where you're like, I'm going to smoke a bowl, put on some music, and just do my makeup in the mirror. That's catching a vibe for me too. Like there's so many different ways that you can do it, where it's like kind of escaping from the stress of the world and into your personal favorite internal world, especially when you are alone in a space. That's the best way to kind of work through those negative emotions that you find spiraling constantly with. And it'll help you kind of redirect, enjoying the moment and focusing on the moment and being more present in the moments that you do have. So highly recommend setting a good vibe routine for yourself. Okay. I do this with myself at least like 2 or 3 times a week. Usually in the evening, sometimes in the mornings if my boyfriend's gone, and I'll just like smoke a bowl, put on music, and chill. I'll do an activity that is healthy for my brain, that is good for me, that I feel like I'm bettering myself while doing, but also kind of like distracting my brain a little bit. That's the best routine to have in your day-to-day life. So then you're able to catch a vibe more outside of work as well and escape your head a little bit too. If you don't do the work at home, you're going to want to do the work out there. And out there is about experiencing, and here is all about processing, understanding, and kind of recouping, you know? Someone said enacting change. I know I'm the only one standing in my way. How do I change that? So when we get in our own way, it's because we maybe have like too much going on in our heads, or maybe we believe we are not deserving of what we truly desire, or maybe we don't know how to go about it. And all of that confusion and uncertainty kind of keeps us frozen. Okay, especially where I'm kind of an avoidant person, and when a lot of like emotional processing comes up, I kind of have this like freeze mentality. You really got to work on working through that. And the best way to do so, especially where you know you're in a point that you have to make a change, like you literally have no choice, and you kind of want to like work your way towards the big thing and towards the hard decision, you got to start small. You got to start small. If you enact a small change, it's going to create a wave to want to enact a big change later on. Just jumping straight to the big change is going to be very hard, especially for an indecisive person, for a person who's a little bit maybe nervous or a little bit more avoidant. Doing that big change is going to be way harder than doing a couple small changes and allowing it to push that wave into the big change. When you start bettering yourself, listen, you think alcohol is addicting? No, self-betterment. That shit is really actually addicting, especially when you start actually seeing yourself become the person that you want to become. It's like, holy shit, this is really inspiring. And now knowing that I can create whatever kind of reality that I want to live in, I'm going to keep doing that. You know, you're going to keep pushing forward and make more changes, more decisions, and bigger ones and harder ones too. The ones that you were too afraid to do at first. So if you need help pushing forward and pushing yourself into your dream reality, here is a good place to start. And I do talk about this a lot, but it is genuinely the number one most effective way to actually create, set goals, and achieve them. First, you have to dream a little bit. I know you're like, bitch, you say dream every episode. What? I'm sorry. People have seemed to have forgotten about it. So I'm going to keep talking about it until people start actually realizing that you can create the life you want. You just have to dream and set goals for yourself a little bit, okay? Sit down. Maybe you're a Pinterest girly. Maybe you create like a My Dream Life mood board. Go put like 100 pins in there. Don't hold yourself back. Anything you feel called towards, put in that visual manifestation board. Maybe you're more of like a word person and you want to write it out, script write it out. I'm the kind of person who will do both. I'll start with the imagery and then I'll move into my words. So I'll do like my little Pinterest board or a little collage board, whatever it is. And then I'll move into my words. Pull out a journal, pull out an old journal, pull out a random piece of loose leaf paper, babe. I don't care. Use your fucking lipstick to write it down. You have the means necessary to do this. Write down what you want your dream life to be in 5 years. Okay, I feel like 5 years is a good amount of time for you to set hefty goals for yourself, but also like the dreaming, when you're dreaming within a year span of time, it becomes a little bit more obviously realistic. But when you're dreaming in a 5-year span of time, it forces you to kind of think outside the box a little bit and set higher goals. So I usually do it in a 5-year time span, and I'll write down exactly where I envision myself to be. My name, how old I will be, where I am living, what does my apartment or my house look like, what do I have it filled with, what are my activities, what is my morning routine, what do I look like, what am I wearing, what is my closet filled with, what is my car I drive, or maybe I don't drive a car, okay? What kind of job do I work, how do I make money, do I have a family, what does my family life look like, do I have any pets, like get into the details. This is basically like a sim characterization. Like, get into the details of who you want to be. What kind of people surround you? Do you have any friends? What are they like? You know, get into the details. This will help you kind of like live in the reality of the dream, but also it will show you kind of the path you want to take. From the dream, you are able to set actualized goals. Oh, your dream self in 5 years wants to eat oatmeal every morning for breakfast. That is a small goal you can enact now. Oh, your dream self in 5 years does a little 10-minute Pilates video, every day in the morning. That is a dream you can enact now. A small goal you can enact now that will push you to become into choosing those bigger, harder things and to becoming that dream person. From that dream script writing, that's when you're going to brainstorm all the different kinds of goals you can take out of there. So maybe and this is a brain dump. Don't organize this at all. You're going to put down random small goals that you might have, physical, mental, spiritual, community-wise, whatever it is, medium goals. Maybe it's like, oh, I want to move. Oh, I want a new job. I want to work in this company. I want to apply for this position. I want to be able to make this much money. Put down the big goals, put down the small goals, brain dump it all out. And then for me, I usually like to enact a new small goal every 2 weeks. The brain takes exactly 2 weeks to catch on to a routine and to make it feel normal in your situation. Okay. So yeah, that thing is going to feel pretty fucking hard for 2 weeks. But after you don't do it for 2 weeks, or you do it for 2 weeks, your brain is going to kind of recognize that pattern of behavior and it's not going to become so scary anymore. In fact, if you miss out on it, your brain's going to feel kind of like, whoa, what happened? Like our routine's messed up now. We have something set in stone. We've been doing it for this long. I'm going to, expect it at this point. So do it for 2 weeks and then reevaluate. Understand, did I accomplish the goal as much as I wanted to? Maybe I didn't. How can I adjust? How can I, reprioritize this goal? And then think about what goal you want to add next. But you need to start with the small things so then you're able to reach the big things. Maybe you need to break up with your loser boyfriend and, making that big jump is a little bit hard. I get it. But also, if you were doing this brain dump and that man is not involved, that big choice is going to have to happen eventually. Maybe it's like, I don't want to be in this job anymore. You know what? That big choice is going to have to happen eventually. But to get to that point and to feel comfortable getting to that point, you're going to need to build up your self-confidence and your self-trust. And you do that by accomplishing and standing by yourself through small goals that you have created for yourself. That is how you do that. That is how you become your dream person. That is how you are able to make those big decisions and those big changes in your life without feeling as scared as one might, just kind of jumping off the high dive. And listen, by all means, if you need to make that big decision, and sometimes you just got to rip the fucking Band-Aid off. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to jump off the high dive. You just got to fucking send it. Do it scared. Always do it scared. Anything new is going to feel a little bit scary. That is normal. That is a human emotion that's going to happen. That is a side effect that's going to happen. That does not necessarily mean it is something you should not do. New things are naturally scary to humans because we are unsure of what to expect. Okay? That doesn't mean we should be fearful as in fearful of our lives. That means we should just be a little bit, more cautious and aware of what we are going through and where we are standing, especially if our life is changing in a big way. That's okay. You have to do it scared. I'm not the Band-Aid ripping off kind of girly, so that's why I give the whole process for you all. But also, please understand you can create the dream life that you want to live. It's going to take work. It's going to take a lot of time. But if you start with the small things and build that internal trust up and build that internal need and desire to keep moving forward up, you will be fucking unstoppable. Completely unstoppable. Okay? I love you. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's smoke one more bowl, maybe answer a couple more questions, and then I got to go. I'm going to make myself a fat lunch and it's going to be so yummy. This week on the recipe list, I have a elevated, wink wink, Shirley Temple, because how delicious does that fucking sound? And I think I'm also going to finally drop the guacamole recipe because you guys have been practically begging me. And honestly, it is one of my favorite go-to summer lunches, especially if you want your skin clear and your ass fat. So I'll drop it this week. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marlene for more. But let's hit this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Someone said I've been dating my boyfriend for almost a year and he's never made me finish. I'm not judging you. I'm not. I'm more so like my heart is breaking. Here's the thing. We need to stop lying to men. Men need to know when they're not doing their job correctly, and you need to tell it to them straight to their face. You know what? Men fucking love that. Okay? You want to seduce a man? Be straightforward and honest to his fucking face. Okay? He will fall in love with you immediately. As much as like I have, as a woman, have gone through my like male people pleasing phase where it's like they tell a dumb joke and I'd be like, oh my God, so funny. It's like, that's not the way to like interact or win them over in any sort of means. Like being real and honest to them, and also like bitching them out if they fucking need it, or looking them dead in the eyes and going, I need another round. That's the way to make them fall in love with you. I don't think at this point in time, a year in, you should tell him, babe, you've never made me finish. I think his brain that exists in his penis is going to completely shatter. I think he's gonna just like lose it. So at this point, you got to get a little creative. And instead of telling it straight to his face, which like if you are new to a relationship and this man is not making you come and it's like a couple months in, you know, please be honest. Please be honest. Do the girls a favor and just let him know and show him how. Especially if he doesn't know what the fuck to do. Okay? I don't know how you like it. I don't know how you want it. But I know you know what you like and how you want it. You know what I mean? Especially if you have time to spend getting to know your body and understanding, you know, your body and how it reacts and what it reacts to. I feel like that's very powerful to be in your sensuality as a woman, is to be aware of what your body desires and what you are wanting to participate in. But also like communicating that to your partner. I feel like people have kind of missed out on the whole communication aspect of sex. And in fact, I don't think I started having good sex until I started dirty talking. I think it's so important to have communication during sex. Sex should not exist on this plane where it's like this understanding without words. I don't think that's how you have good sex. I think good sex comes from open and honest communication, showing them what you want, showing them what you desire, and being real with them in that sort of way. At this point, a year in though, I don't know if I would look my boyfriend in the eyes and be like, yeah, no, babe. That's like maybe a breakup at the end of it. I'll tell him. But if you guys want to stay together and you want to have good sex, babe, you have to come and you gotta show him how. It's okay to show a man how. Okay? It's okay to give instructionals. Sure, it's not gonna feel the sexiest in the moment, but once he gets it down, that shit's gonna feel real sexy. I promise you. But also, like, sex is about learning and developing and understanding each other's bodies, and everybody's body is completely different. Thus, open communication is so very important. And getting to know your partner's body is also very important and very slept on. You shouldn't be telepathically communicating during sex. I mean, you can, but like, I don't think good sex happens from that, trying to guess what your partner needs. I think good sex comes from verbalizing it and communicating through those things. It can be very hot. It can. Try it out. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. That's not what sex is about. Sex is about letting your freak flag fly. Okay, babe? So get into it and enjoy. But yeah, you deserve to come. That Kamala Harris, do not come. That's the audio going through my head right now. Anyways, you gotta show him. I love you, babe. You deserve it. But if you're gonna be with this man who can't make you come, the only thing that's gonna change, that's gonna make this positive, is him learning how. So please show him, okay? You deserve to feel good too. Anyways, I think that's it for the podcast, you guys. I know, I'm so sorry. If you want your question answered, join the Patreon. I answer every question every week, and I do a little extra episode. It's kind of just like a sit down, like YouTube style Q&A. It's quite fun. Every week with the girlies on Patreon, so come join if you want to see more from me. Also, it's a new month, and I do post a lot during the new months. Just kind of setting the tone and trying to provide some inspiration for us all, especially with this Mercury retrograde, trying to provide quite a bit of hope, perhaps. But I always do a book club book of the month. I'm going to post my review of this past month this week, I believe. I always do a tarot reading for the month. And I always do just like some little spells, rituals to kind of set good intentions and provide prosperity for us all, kind of going into a new cycle. I like the month-long cycle. I feel like it's such a good amount of time and amount of days to kind of feel like a new person. So I really like to set my intentions and provide hope for the beginning of the month. So come join, come hang out. We have a lot of fun at patreon.com/smokeseshshotty. And I will be posting a lot this week on Instagram. Like I said, I'm going to be making an elevated Shirley and posting a lot more recipes on there and just sharing my life more with you guys. I realize I do take a lot of photos and interact with the world quite a lot. I just don't really share it a lot. I don't know why. I think I'm just lazy. That's like a me problem. It's not like I want to hold myself back. It's just like eepy. You know what I mean? But I've really been challenging myself to share more with you guys, and connecting with you guys is such a, delight of mine and provides so much fun for me during the week. And I love connecting and seeing what the world has going on and what the girlies got to say. So follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marlene if you want to see more from me, if you want to connect. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you all next week for another episode of Smoke Sesh. Stay hot, stay sexy, stay sane, and I'll see you then. Mwah.